You'd better buckle up, my friend. On the Limit is proudly presented by O'Hagan's. Oh, to be sure, you can almost taste the action.
The Bankfun Off-Road Championship proves to be one of the most hotly contested championships in South African motorsport, with many of the title battles going down to the wire in the special and production vehicle categories. Nissan dominated the production vehicle championship, and consistency paid off for veterans Greg Harvey and Boy Stone in the special vehicle category. For some, the championship turned into a disaster. The Bankfun Off-Road Championship Season Review is proudly brought to you by Ford, Nissan, Toyota and Bankfun. If it moves, we'll finance it. The Barberspun 500 was the opening round of the championship, and Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser pair Arpi Reinicke and Robin Houghton survived the stunking in the prologue to win the event after starting at the back of the field. Neil Woolridge and Kenny Scholthammer nursed the overheating Ford Racing Ranger, which also had gearbox problems, home into second place ahead of Marius Boersma, who was third in Class T. Tasker farmers Piet Harsbroek and Christo Bosch finished third overall and won Class D in the Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser ahead of brothers Henry and Maurice Zermatten in the PlayStation Pajero. Veteran Cassie Garcia and Oki Fourie picked up the Class E win in the Castrol Toyota Condor, with father and son Hugo and Jaap de Bruin second in a Toyota Hilux. Frick Mulder and Willie Jordan won the new Class F for two-wheel drive vehicles in ex-Walker Evans V8-powered Chev. Toyota drew first blood by winning 3 of the 4 production vehicle classes, with Class D entries dominating the top 10 places.
It was my lucky day, and we had a quite clean run today. No problems on the car. We had a couple of wrong slots, and that was that. But we were leading before halfway through the race, and we kept our lead all the way, and everything just went well for us today.
Atan Makhakaneni and Paul Andre scored a debut win in the special vehicle category after a race-long battle with John Weir Smith and Tony George in the O'Hagan's Kopanong Hotel Jimco, who had to settle for second. Terence Marsh and Trevor Ayer in the Nashua Mobile Jimco finished third in Class A. Gavin Gray and Brian Scott finished fourth in the category and picked up the Class B win in the process, with fellow Italian Marcus Taylor and Mark de Chalane finishing second in Class B in the Truck Time JRE. A storming drive from Greg Dowse and Trevor Ormerond saw the Nashua Mobile Racing pair finish third overall and first in Class S, with Mohammed Noor from Botswana second in the new class for vehicles with trailing arm front suspensions. A fine debut win for Makhakaneni and Andre, a great drive from last to second for Weir Smith, and a leaderboard dominated by Class B and Class S entries.
And I'm very pleased with myself, my crew, my mechanic, everybody else who's here with us, my navigator here, and my son who came for the first race with us. I think it's a blessing that he came.
The next stop was KwaZulu-Natal for the Nissan Sugarbelt 400. Toyota dominated the top places in the production vehicle championship after 3 class wins on the Barberspun 500, and the rest would have to play catch-up. And catch-up they certainly did. Reigning champions Khalil de Villiers and Francois Jordan made up for their retirement on the Barberspun 500 by romping to victory in the Nissan Hardbody. Teammates Hannes Grobler and Richard Leek made it to Nissan 1-2 when they finished second, just over 4 minutes behind the leaders. Harsbroek and Bosch finished third overall and first in Class D and added a rich haul of points to their tally. Duncan Foss and Mike Griffith finished second in Class D in the Nissan Hardbody and were followed home by Mark Corbett and John Moore in the Isuzu. Manfred Schroeder and Jack Peckham made up for their non-finish in Barberspun by winning Class E in the Ford Racing Ranger, while Hugo and Jaap de Bruin in the Toyota Hilux finished second. Nissan dominated their own event and walked off of 2 class wins. Ford picked up the spoils in Class E, and the Barker and Van Vieren Land Rovers rounded out the top 10.
Conditions it was good. There was a bit of dust with us catching the back markers and stuff, but overall it was actually a brilliant day. It was a very nice day, so it was great for Bankfun off-road racing.
Interesting to see Class B and Class S vehicles occupying 7 of the top 10 places in the championship after the Barberspun 500. Weir Smith and George made up for their disappointment on the Barberspun 500 by trouncing the opposition in the O'Hagan's Kopanong Hotel Super Team Jimco. Harvey and Stone were second in the Lexus-powered Jimco. Reigning Class B champion Hill, Mr. Consistency Nell, won Class B in the Luck Africa Truggy and was followed home by local driver Gerald Mundell in the Raceco. They were the only two Class B finishers. Dawson Ormerod finished third overall and again won Class S in the Nashua Mobile Raceco with local crew Billy Bond and Anton Lombard second in the Prolong Raceco. The Class A vehicles had finally come into their own and occupied 6 in the top 10 places at the end of a very tough event.
I think it was a 4x4 race, most definitely. The sugarcane fields were very, very slippery, but it was really great out there. We got one puncher and we lost our jack, so it was a matter of driving onto rocks to try and get the wheels off the ground to change the wheels. Besides that, it was faultless. It was just a wonderful race, very, very well marked and very well organized.
Brought to you by Ford, Nissan, Toyota and Bankfin. If it moves, we'll finance it.
Highlights of the Bankfin Off-Road Championship in On the Limit this Sunday at 1 p.m. on SABC 3.
Nissan, Toyota and Bankfin. If it moves, we'll finance it. The next stop was in Botswana for the Toyota 1000 Desert Race. And after 2 events, Haasbroek and Bosch found themselves in a comfortable championship lead. Interestingly, the Class T Brigade lagged far behind. This time it was the turn of veterans Grobler and Leek to win in the Nissan hardbody, after teammates De Villiers and Jordan blew the motor on their Nissan. Woolridge and Scholthammer had a steady run in the Ford Racing Ranger, but had to settle for second. Forson Griffith came from 81st to 4th overall and won Class D in the Nissan hardbody, while PlayStation Pajero crew Henry and Maurice Zermatten edged out championship leaders Haasbroek and Bosch to finish second in Class D. Cane farmers Schroeder and Peckham were in fine form and won Class E for the second time in a row in the diesel-powered Ford Racing Ranger. Brain and his father Jaap again had to settle for second place in Class E, while Hannes Steen and Ferdy Siegers finished third in a Hilux double cab. Nissan, Ford and Toyota shared the spoils in Class D, with the Class D win going to Nissan and the Class E victory to Ford.
Car was fantastic, crew was fantastic, navigating was fantastic. I don't know about the driver, but we have first, and I'm happy.
Weir Smith and George and Dawson Ormerod shared the Special Vehicle Championship lead after 2 events, with the ever-consistent Hill Nell not far behind in third place. Dawson Ormerod stormed to victory in the Nashua Mobile Raceco and picked up the Class S win too. They were followed home by past Toyota 1000 winner John Lambert and Stephen Parker in the Digidor. Greg Harvey and Boy Stone were the first of the Class A vehicles across the line, with father and son Bodo and Gary Berthold in the M&E Glass Black second in Class A and 4th overall. Class B was won by Marcus Taylor and Mark de Chalane in the Truck Time JRE, who edged out Hill Nell in the Luck Africa Truggy. It looked as if Nell had bet his match and Taylor and de Chalane would have to pull out all the stops to retain his title. Surprise performances from 2 of the older Class S entries. A well-earned third in Class A for John Moore and Fred Werner in the ex-Sepec Chenoweth.
It's a long race. All thanks go to Nashua Mobile's team. We had an unbelievable team. With such a long event like this, you need to have all the support you can get, and we had that today. Fantastic.
Round 4 was the O'Hagan's Kopanong Hotel 500 in the Mafeking area. Haasbroek and Bosch had a tenuous lead over Forson Griffith in the Production Vehicle Championship, and the De Brains had slowly edged their way into the top 3. There was no stopping the Nissan onslaught. This time out, De Villiers and Jordan won in the Nissan hardbody, and Woolridge and Scholthammer again had to settle for the runner-up spot in the Ford Racing Ranger. Duncan Force and Mike Griffith again won Class D in the Nissan hardbody and were followed home by Mark Corbett and John Moore in the Century Property Development's Isuzu, and Hein Grobler and Gerard Prinsloo in another Nissan hardbody. Schroeder and Peckham again won Class E in the Ford Racing Ranger, but were chased hard throughout the event by Hugo and Jaap de Brain, who again had to settle for second. The Class F win went to Paulo Piazza Musso and Scott Abraham in the O'Hagan's Kopanong Hotel Super Team Jeep. A podium finish for Foss and Griffith and a fine 4th overall for Schroeder and Peckham. Class D and E entries dominated the top 10 positions.
The second loop, we really went without any hassles, and we're just glad to win again.
Darson Ormerod had moved into a seemingly unassailable lead after their Toyota 1000 victory, with Gil Nel still very much in the hunt in the Class B leading Luck Africa Truggy. Brothers Gerhard and Lawrence du Plessis acquired the Barberspun 500 winning Jimco from Makhakaneni and chalked up their first overall win in the special vehicle category, ahead of Makhakaneni and Alex Sally in the Sam Racing Jimco. Taylor and Deschalaine cruised to another Class B win in the Truck Time JRE and were followed home by Warren Clasten and Kim Dixon in the Nasho Mobile Ratflow, with Gerald Mundell third. Frikkie Botha took advantage of Darcy's retirement to win Class S on the Santon Off-Road Accessories Wingfoot. Richard Carolyn and Jeff Minute finished second in Class S in the O'Hagan's Kopanong Hotel Super Team Raceco. Class A vehicles occupied the top 5 places, with Taylor and Deschalaine the only Class B entry in the top 10.
Nou, het begint 12 vanochtend en een pap wiel gekregen. En toen die tweede helft nou, toen Atangas voor ons, toen hij net een rongslot gemaakt en toen kon ons voorbij gaan.
Brought to you by Ford, Nissan, Toyota and Bankfin. If it moves, we'll finance it.
Buckle up, my friend. Don't miss highlights of the Bankfin Off-Road Championship in On the Limit this Sunday at 1 p.m. on SABC 3.
Return it for a full refund, no questions asked. To get your AB Energizer system...
Brought to you by Ford, Nissan, Toyota and Bankfin. If it moves, we'll finance it. The Bankfin Off-Road Championship had reached the midway point with a new event, the Toyota Dealer 400 at Sun City. Foss and Griffith still topped the championship log, with the De Brains well placed in second, but the wheels appear to have come off for Haasbroek and Bosch. There was no stopping de Villiers and Jordan as they cruised to yet another overall win in the all-conquering Nissan Hardbody. They were followed over 7 minutes later by teammates Hannes Pobler and Richard Leek. Between them, they'd won 4 of the 5 events. Foss and Griffith finished 5th overall and won Class D for the 3rd consecutive time in the Nissan Hardbody. The former touring car driver had certainly come of age. Marius and Tracy van Vieren had been consistent performers in the Alboranti Land Rover and were rewarded with a 2nd in Class D. Nissan made a clean sweep of the classes when brothers Yuri and Andre du Plessis won Class E in the BB Auto Nissan Hardbody, ahead of Piet Jennis and Kutsia Labaskachny in the N1 4x4 Toyota. Overall victory and 3 class wins for Nissan in the Toyota Dealer 400 at Sun City and another podium finish for Woolridge and Scholthammer in the Ford Racing Ranger.
We had a bit of a moment on the last lap where we overshot the corner and we got stuck in a tree. And for some other reason, I couldn't get the car into reverse gear. It was stuck in the forward gears, and we panicked a bit. We lost about 5 minutes there. Eventually, one of the space frame guys appeared there, and we begged him just to tow us out. I must thank him because if he wasn't there, I mean, it would have certainly cost us the race. Sure.
Consistency was the key to Greg Harvey and Boy Stone moving into the Special Vehicle Championship lead, but Dowse was an ever-present threat. The Vormeran-Stad-based du Plessis brothers waltzed to another victory in the Mobile Jimco and finished well ahead of 2nd-placed Harvey and Stone in the Queen Motor Spares Jimco, who in turn finished ahead of Mokhaganeni and Sally. Despite brake problems, Greg Darce and Archie Rutherford again dominated Class S in the Nasho Mobile Raceco and well clear of their nearest rivals Billy Bond and Anton Lombard in the Prolong Raceco. Class B again went to Marcus Taylor and Mark Deschalaine in the Truck Time JRE, with Gil Nel and the Luck Africa Truggy 2nd. Jimco's filled the top 4 places with the drive of the race coming from Weir Smith, who started 10th and finished 4th. Gert and Lucille du Plessis, who have a combined age of 113, finished 7th overall.
Ja, laatste wedstrijd tot 1 pap wiel gaat. Verloor als 5 minuten. Vanochtend is zelfs door die 1 pap wiel gaat. Wij tellen ze weer op. Dat is lekker.
Round 6 of the Bankfin Off-Road Championship, the Caledon 400 in the De Wetsdorp area. Foss and Griffith had increased their lead to 31 points over Woolridge and Scholthammer. but dropped points would have to start coming into play soon. Another Nissan win, but this time it was the turn of Grobler and Leek after de Villiers and Jordan retired with clutch problems. Woolridge and Scholthammer finished second in the Ford Racing Ranger, 5 minutes behind the winning Nissan. Overall victory had eluded the pair all season. The Class D win went to Mark Corbett and John Moore in the Century Property Developments Isuzu after the Force Nissan retired with suspension problems. Haasbroek and Bosch had a welcome return to form and finished second in the Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser, with Carlos Dobrow and Steve Cooper third in another Land Cruiser. Ford racing pair Manfred Schroeder and Jack Peckham won Class E for the 4th time. This time they were followed home by Nielsen Zelda van der Walt in the Nissan hardbody. Class wins for Nissan, Isuzu and Ford, with Ford also holding down 3 of the top 10 positions overall.
We had all different types of road conditions. It was rough, we had mud, we had fast stuff like rally stuff. But we paced ourselves well, and we knew if we're going to pace ourselves that we don't have any punctures or whatever, and we keep a good pace, we've got a good chance to win it.
Das had closed the gap on Harvey and Stone, and Taylor had finally overtaken Nell in the Special Vehicle Championship battle. Bond and Lombard were also well placed. Loris and Gerard Duplessis chalked up their 3rd overall win of the season in the Mobile Jimco and were followed home yet again by the consistent Harvey and Stone, whose sole objective was to accumulate as many points as possible and win the championship for a 3rd time. Das and Rutherford finished 3rd overall in the Nashua Mobile Raceco, with Billy Bond and Anton Lombard again 2nd in the Prolong Raceco. A 4th consecutive Class B win for Marcus Taylor and Mark de Chalane in the trusty Truck Time JRE. The youngsters had taken Class B by the scruff of the neck and weren't about to let go. Gil Nel had no answer for the Class B championship leaders and was forced to settle for 2nd in the Luck Africa Truggy. Victory by over 28 minutes for the Duplessis brothers, another podium finish for Das and Rutherford. Taylor and de Chalane won Class B by just over 19 minutes.
Ons ry nou ons ry 7 jaar al, die wedrenne. En ons begin nou eers hierdie jaar iets reg kry. So, ek dink dit is nou tyd.
Rain, sleet and hail welcomed competitors to the Queen Motor Spares Tarka 400. Consistent performances by Woolwich and Scholthammer now saw them level pegging with Foss and Griffith in the Production Vehicle Championship. But keep an eye on Grobler and Leek, who were creeping up the ladder. Winning the Tarka 400 certainly helped their championship cause greatly. Woolridge and Scholthammer again settled for 2nd in the Ford Racing Ranger and were more concerned with amassing points at this stage of the season. Foss and Griffith survived suspension problems on the Nissan hardbody to win Class D and keep their championship hopes very much alive. The Zermattens came home 2nd in Class D in the PlayStation Mastercraft Pajero, ahead of Mark and Stuart Moffat in the McCarthy Land Rover. The Schroeder and Peckham domination of Class E continued, and a 5th Class E win was theirs for the taking. The De Bruins survived the weekend to finish 2nd in the privately entered Toyota Hilux and were followed by Steyn and Seegers in another Toyota Hilux. Richard Carolyn making his debut in the production vehicle category, and Scott Abram won Class F in the O'Hagan's Kopanong Hotel Super Team Jeep. Grobler and Leek won by over 7 minutes and now matched teammates de Villiers and Jordan in the winning stakes. There were class wins for Nissan, Ford and Jeep.
The Tarka Start event is not easy. It's the first time we finished it and we win it.
Das had been stripped of points due to insufficient starters in Class S on past events, and now trailed championship leader Harvey and Stone by 29 points. John Weir Smith and Jeff Minnitt were fastest in the prologue and dominated the event to win the special vehicle category and Class A ahead of Harvey and Stone and Martian Air. Das and Rutherford won Class S and finished 8th overall in the Nashua Mobile Raceco. Taylor and de Chalane won Class B for the 5th consecutive time in the Truck Time JRE and predictably were followed home by Gil Nel in the Luck Africa Truggy. A second overall win for Weir Smith and the O'Hagan's Kopanong Hotel Super Team, and another second place for Harvey and Stone. Class A vehicles filled the top 7 positions.
There's so many people we need to thank and appreciate, and this team and the hours they spend and their dedication to it, it all adds up.
The final round of the Bankfin Off-Road Championship was the Carnival City Casino 400. Voss and Griffith and Woolwich and Scholthammer were still equal on points, with Probler and Leek the dark horses in the championship battle. It was the dark horses who trotted to victory and the Class T title after Woolwich and Scholthammer crashed out of the event. 4 wins to Probler and Leek and 3 to De Villiers and Jordan. Cliff and Louis Weichelt finished second in Class T in the N1 4x4 Ford. The production vehicle title in the Class D went to Voss and Griffith in the Nissan Hardbody, with Mark Corbett and John Moore second in Class D in the Century Property Developments Isuzu. Hugo and Jaap de Bruin finally got the better of Schroeder and Peckham to win Class E, with Hannes Steyn and Ferdy Seeger second in the Toyota Hilux double cab. Victory to Probler and Leek, but a stunning second overall from Voss and Griffith. 5 Class E vehicles featured in the top 10.
Mooi man. Yeah, it was very, very nice. It was a very rough route, tough on the cars, especially on the cars, tough on the drivers as well. And we're very glad that we could win. And it looks like we've won the class championship.
Harvey and Stone had the championship all but in the bag, but had to finish to ensure the title was theirs. The Class B title was also not yet decided. Another Duplessis victory. 4 starts in the Jimco and 4 wins for the Volmenstadt Diamond Miners. Second overall and the best finish for Gary and Bodo Berthold in the Commuternet back this season. Taylor and Deschelaine retired with mechanical problems, and the Class B win went to Rob Gurney and Reg Sutton, with Francois Smith third in the Frannick Sandmaster. Rookies Nick Gosler and Glenn Steyn won Class S in the O'Hagan's Kopanong Hotel Super Team Raceco, and were followed home by Hamish and Alistair Stubbs. Five Class A and 4 Class B entries in the top 10, and debut class wins for Gurney and Sutton and Gosler and Steyn.
Baie stof en ons het voor getrek vanoggend en een verrongslot gemaak. Toen ons net achter Appie weer. Toen ons vierde. Toen is er allemaal weer bijgegaan en toen bleef het voor. Maar het is baie rof.
The Bankfin Off-Road Championship Awards were unique. Bankfin and the MSA Off-Road Car Racing Commission employed Global Gold to design and mint gold medals for the championship winners, with each of the overall champions minting their own.
Hey, Motorsport, thank you.
Harvey and Stone were crowned the special vehicle and Class A champions. Taylor and Deschelaine the Class B champions, and Dawson Lombard the Class S champions. Voss and Griffith were crowned the production vehicle and Class D champions, Probler and Leek the Class T champions, and Schroeder and Peckham the Class E champions. The Bankfin Off-Road Championship Season Review was proudly brought to you by Ford, Nissan, Toyota and